Where would you sit?
William Santiago.
How are you?
Doing well. What about yourself?
I'm good. Trying not to get blown away in this crazy winter.
Oh, man, this weather's been crazy.
So what? I have to ask you how you found us. How you heard of us?
I first saw the name on Facebook,
Okay.
and then I actually was referred to you by a buddy. His name's Ignatius Horseman. Yeah, good guy. He's actually an old friend of mine, college buddy. So,
Cool.
he told me to come here, that y'all do well, managing his money. He said y'all don't do anything crazy, but anyways, he gave me a glowing recommendation, and from Facebook, I kind of looked y'all up online, and I thought your firm's values would be kind of cohesive with what I wanted. So.
I'll have to give Ignatius a thank you the next time I see him. And I'm glad that everything looked appealing as far as our firm.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we can fit your needs. So I have to ask you, have you worked with a financial planner before or with a firm before?
No, I have not. I don't know why it's kind of a new concept to me, financial planning. I've never really heard about it. Like, I know there's insurance agents and security agents, but this concept of like the whole finance, I've never heard of that before. And then Ignatius was the one that kind of filled me in on all the things you do. And so I was like, well, I might as well give it a try, you know?
Well, I'm glad that you decided to give it a shot. Not a lot of people really think about it and think about how much they actually need a financial planner. But I'm glad that you've considered it, and hopefully we can keep you around for a while and help you reach your goals. So you said that you met Ignatius in college?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so where did you go to school?
Oh, I went to Texas Tech.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So did I.
Awesome. Cool. What year did you graduate?
I graduated in 1996.
Really?
I did.
Yeah, I was 94.
Well, I'd say that we probably saw each other, but we both know how big of a school it is.
No, I didn't go to class much, so you probably didn't see me.
That makes sense. That was back during my good years, and I was always in class, so that would make tons of sense. Are you originally from the area then?
Yeah, I grew up in Lubbock.
Okay.
I've always been a Red Raider fan. Went to all the games when I was little, so it was just kind of natural to go to Tech. Yeah.
Awesome. What did you major in?
I majored in finance. Over in the Rawls School. My dad really encouraged me to go into finance, so there's no real story behind it. I just kind of chose finance, you know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, did you go the finance route after college? Is that what you're doing currently? Working?
What am I doing?
In finance?
Yeah. So I own my own business.
Okay. Well, that's nice.
Yeah, I actually use my major
exactly.
on a daily basis.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
Paid off.
Yeah.
So what exactly is your business?
I own a wholesale lumber shop. It's called Santiago Lumber.
Cool. Awesome. Is it a large scale?
No, it's like
lumber
5
operation?
employees. You know, I make about $80,000 a year. It's not that big, but it's good enough for me. You know, it creates a lifestyle.
Awesome. What made you decide to get into the lumber business after finance?
Oh, so my dad actually owned it to begin with, so it's been passed down to me.
So family.
Yeah. So that's why he encouraged me to go finance. He wanted somebody that understood numbers to get that into the business.
To run it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, good. And business sounds like it's doing well then. You said about 5 employees.
5 employees. They're just kind of warehouse guys, you know, moving lumber and stuff. And I do all kind of the big picture type stuff.
Awesome. So you handle most of the business side.
Right.
Cool. Awesome. So now did you say that you're married?
No, I actually am just recently divorced. So
sorry.
Oh, it's okay. But that's what brought me in here, is to get on track financially and figure out what my life looks like next, I guess.
Okay. Now, you're recently divorced, does that mean divorce is finalized, or we're still in the process of everything?
Just recently, a couple weeks ago, was finalized. So
Awesome.
that's why I was over at my buddy Naish's house, and we were kind of talking about next steps in life. And that's how conversation got brought up to here. So
Perfect. Well, with that being said, and the divorce being finalized, did y'all are on good terms? Are there children involved? How is all of that?
yeah, I have 2 children, Amy and Justin, 5 and 7. Yeah. And yeah, it's amicable. I mean, we were able to split everything up civilly, and she's still the mother of my children, so I'm not,
Good.
we just didn't work out, but we're keeping it, amicable for the kids. So.
That is the most important part.
Yes.
5 and 7, those are little ones. I've got a 8 and a 10-year-old right now, so I know.
You're a little bit ahead of me.
I know what you're going through right now. And I'm sure they keep you real busy between running your own business and I'm sure sports and school.
Yeah, Justin's baseball. Amy's the not the cheerleader, but the ones that like dance on the court. I don't know. I forgot what they're called. The hip hop dancing type girls.
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's something,
That's funny.
Another reason we have to be amicable because I see her everywhere. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely. That's important.
Yes.
And that's good for the kids too. That as well. Well, I'm glad that y'all are on good terms and that everything's worked out as far as that goes. With the kids, do you have custody or is it shared or joint?
We were so good. We didn't really create any guidelines,
Okay.
So we're really good at co-parenting. Whenever she needs help, they come over to my house. They will come over to my house. I'm not in the house right now, but we're good at trading off. You know what I mean? So
Gotcha. So you say you're not in a house right now?
No, I'm still at a hotel and my stuff's in a storage unit. So just been trying to figure everything out financially before I jumped into something. I didn't really know what to do.
Is this just like an extended stay hotel or?
That's exactly what it is, an extended stay, and then I have all of my furniture that she let me keep. Stuff she didn't like, basically. She said, here, put it in the storage unit. And so I've really just been waiting on everything to be finalized to kind of get a picture of what I can afford.
Okay.
I know my salary, but everything else you kind of want to understand the whole picture.
Right. Gotcha. So that being said, you obviously don't want to stay in the hotel much longer. Are you wanting to look into buying or renting, or I would assume do you want a house with the kids?
I'd like one. I'd like a house, and really I had questions. Should I rent? Should I get a mortgage? What should I do there? And that's another thing I was talking to Nation about. He was like, yeah, if you just go sit down, like they'll tell you, everything down to renting versus mortgage and all, so that's another thing I wanted to come in here. I'm really good at the numbers on the business end of things, but when it comes to like personal, like banking and all that, it's not as, that's not my expertise. So I wanted some help.
What are some of your goals that you want to reach, maybe through meeting us, or some thoughts or things that you wanted to discuss with meeting us?
But the house obviously is kind of the most pertinent, this is what I need to do first,
Absolutely.
And it was hard for a while to think about anything beyond that, but again, talking with Naish, he talked about, how y'all kind of have talked about retirement and what he wanted that to look like and so I thought that'd be cool to come in and kind of talk about retirement and think about what would be cool to do in retirement and really start like heading in some direction, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, rather than just trying to collect all this money, like figure out why I'm collecting the money, so retirement would be good. like I said, Justin and Amy are 5 and 7. Justin's 7, Amy's 5, and I would like to pay for their college. Their mom, she's a drug rep, and she makes good money. She spends a lot of money too, though. She likes her clothes and she likes her shoes, and I was always kind of the one that was the saver and that was trying to strategically do our finances, and so I feel like that'll be my job when it comes to the kid, is figuring out how much money I need for college funds, and then maybe I can present that to her and see if she wants to add to it. But I don't want to plan on her adding. I just want to plan on me doing it first, and if she adds anything later, like
And let that be a possibility.
Yeah, like
just an extra.
right.
Okay.
But I don't want to kind of go to her saying, you need to
Gotcha.
put money in this college fund. You know?
Gotcha. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Right. So, living situation is the most important right now that I think we need to figure out, and then we'll touch on your retirement, and then hopefully funding the college for your kids. On the topic of retirement, I know you said you graduated in '94. How old are you exactly?
I'm 35.
35. Let's see. And as far as the divorce, I know everything was civil. Was there assets that were divided
Yes.
through the process?
Yes. Yeah, so we had a house, and we sold the house. We had it completely paid off because that was one of my goals, was to live in a paid off house, and it allowed her to go off and spend all her money on clothes like she wanted to. So the house was about $300,000. We sold it down the middle, 150.
Okay. Awesome.
So $150 is sitting in my savings account, which
Okay.
$150,000 is sitting in my savings account. I didn't want to do anything until I came in here. Talk to y'all.
Right.
We also had a savings account that had $100,000 in it because I am a business owner. I always wanted to,
Be prepared.
just
Absolutely.
I felt safe with that money there,
Absolutely.
And so I got $50,000 from that.
Okay.
And then we also had a brokerage account that was just a plain old brokerage account, and that had $200,000 in it, and so I have $100,000 of that too. And that's really all that's sitting in a savings account. So all said and done, I have $300,000 sitting in that savings account.
That's just ready.
Whatever comes next, yeah. So whatever we think.
Okay, so we touched base a little bit about your goals. I know housing is the most important right now for you. And then we said that we wanted to plan for retiring as well. Okay, cool. And then college funding for Justin and Amy. Are there any other goals that you want to throw in there right now, or is that cover it?
This is kind of, I don't really know a whole lot about this, but I told you I've been using that brokerage account. Maybe just figuring out, is that the best way to be investing, So I don't really know anything about tax advantage plans or anything, so maybe you can have a suggestion on that.
So we'll touch base a little bit about that maybe towards the end,
Okay.
but I think right now the best thing for us to do is work through each of your goals,
Okay.
figure out a little bit more information and some specifics of what we'd like to do, just to get the ball rolling, so it'll help us throughout our next couple of meetings. So let's just jump right into housing. Do you think you want to buy or rent? Do you have a preference right now?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've always thought before coming in here that we could figure out what would be best as far as retirement for housing. You know what I mean? As far as like it within the portfolio, would a house be better, or would it be better that I rent and then use the excess to be investing? But I want a house. I know I want a house. So maybe, I don't know if y'all are experts on it, or if it'd be better to talk to a realtor. I don't know, but I would just really like to look at my options, and if I find a house that I absolutely love, then I'm sure I'll just take the house. But
Right.
Yeah.
So I do have a realtor that we work hand in hand with that I will absolutely refer you to after this. I'm just gonna get a couple of extra things so that I can go ahead and give them to her, and she has some ideas so that whenever y'all meet, she'll understand the situation to an extent, and then she has an idea of where to start looking.
Awesome.
Um, Now, since we're in the extended stay,
Mhm.
and then we also have furniture and storage,
Mhm.
how much money are we spending each month towards those
They're pretty cheap. I spend about $1,500
combined?
combined for both. Yeah.
Okay.
But that doesn't need to be an indication of what I'll spend on a mortgage or rent, you know. So, um, I'm comfortable. Ignatius has given me trust in me, you know. So whatever you guys recommend, like I'm gonna be pretty comfortable with it because I trust Ignatius and he trusts
Okay.
y'all. So,
Awesome. Awesome.
but I'd like a recommendation on kind of what y'all think my lifestyle should look like because I'm in a like a redo phase, you know what I mean? Like I can go anywhere now.
Right,
So,
right, absolutely. I think that probably buying would be one of the best options for you right now. Because you are spending the $1,500 a month for the extended stay and for the storage. You could take that money and put it towards a mortgage for a decent size 3-bedroom home. That way both of the kids have their own rooms. You can get plenty of room out in the yard for the kids to play since they are so young. Go play basketball or baseball, and Amy can go out and practice her dance moves out in the yard. I think that that would probably be the best bet. Since you are 35 as well, you could look into getting something with a 15-year mortgage and have it paid off by the time you're 50. And then, or sooner, because I know you had said that you are a saver and you had the previous home that y'all owned paid off already.
Right.
You could pay it off sooner and then have, let's say, 45 within 10 years, have that completely paid off. That's one less expense you'd have to worry about. I just think that would probably be best for your family situation since the kids are young. Just we can find you a home that'll fit all of your needs and be a good fit for the kids as well. But I will get you in touch with our realtor and I'll make sure that you have her information before you leave here. Then I'll give her kind of a base on everything.
I was also gonna say I don't know whether or not like we're gonna use my house for their schooling or their
Okay.
you know what I mean, like for where the kids are gonna live, and so that would subsequently choose where they're gonna go to school.
Okay.
But I wanted to stay in the same school they are now, which is Friendship here.
Okay.
And so if you could tell the realtor to look in that school district area,
So maybe
just that way it doesn't matter which house we use.
Okay.
You know?
I will let her know that we want to kind of look in maybe the Wolford area
Right.
so that the kids can stay in Friendship. And then I'll let her know that I suggested buying, but that you're open to renting if that's what works best, and if we can find something that suits you best as far as that goes. Okay, awesome. So then let's move on to retiring. So we're 35. That's something that we need to start thinking about pretty seriously and considering. What is an ideal retirement for you?
I don't want to work my whole life. I know I've talked to a lot of people that are like, I'm never going to stop working. And I don't see myself doing that.
Okay.
I want to enjoy the money I've made, you know?
Right.
I don't want to spend it all in retirement. I don't think I could spend it all because of my nature. Like I'm not a spender.
Right.
But I do want to make sure that I enjoy it, and I'd like to take trips with the kids, and hopefully I'll find another wife, take trips with the wife, and but so I guess the first thing would be either passing on the lumber yard to Justin. My dad slowly did it over a long period of time, kind of kept letting me buy equity from him. and eventually when he died, then passed on the rest of it to me. But he kind of slowly exited the business, you know, and that's really what I see myself doing is just working less and less and less, and then eventually, hopefully it'll be Justin. Like I said, I'm not going to force Justin into it. So
Right.
If you know we have to find somebody else that's going to want to buy it, hopefully I can find somebody that's. I've got a good foreman right now in the warehouse, so maybe him one day. You know, if he sticks
Right.
around, maybe you know he's worked for me for 5 years, so if he sticks around, you know. Maybe I get him to buy me out. But either way, getting out of that slowly. And then, I don't know, I see myself, I've never been to Europe. I've been to Mexico, been to Florida, been to California. I've never been to Europe, you know.
Gotcha.
So somewhere over there,
Okay.
I kind of want to take like one trip a year. You know what I mean? Have you ever seen those maps that you put on the wall?
And you just
And
choose.
you like shade the countries you've been
Yep.
to.
Yep.
I really want to see the
Another
world.
one of those.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I don't really know exactly what that looks like, but a trip a year. I don't need some big fancy house to live in. I'm perfectly fine living in my $200,000 house. You know, just being able to spend time with my grandkids is important to me. Going to their, you know, baseball games and their hip hop dances, whatever they choose to do, you know, being there
Yeah.
for those moments will be important to me. Yeah, and then I am a big Dallas Cowboys fan. I'm like a huge Dallas Cowboys fan. So if I could, I know Jerry World is expensive. It's so expensive. But if I could find some seats there that I could pay for and travel, you know, take a 5-hour car ride every Sunday that they're playing at home, I think that would be really cool too.
So maybe season ticket.
Right, season
To
tickets
Jerry World.
to Jerry World,
Yes,
yeah.
all right. Okay.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
Whatever, ideal retirement. It works
Yeah.
for everyone.
Yeah.
Works for everyone. So you said that you want to slowly get out of the business. Is there a certain age that you think you want to be out by? I mean, 35, you still have a little bit of time to figure that out.
You know, my dad died when he was 85, and
Okay.
I know that's not like an indicator of exactly when I would die,
Right.
but I would like at least like 10 to 15 years of solid like Preston time. You know, like going and doing what I want, going and seeing the kids. So I guess that would mean like 70. You know, hopefully completely
So
done.
like the absolute latest that
No,
you'd
it
like
doesn't
to be
have
done?
to be the latest. I would like at least 10 years to be the latest. So 75, I want to be, you know, somebody else owns the lumber yard or Justin's running it, one of the two, and I'm in Europe or at the Cowboys game. You know, that's kind of what I see.
I definitely think that is something that's manageable. Now, with us talking a little bit about the kids and going into their future, let's touch base on college for just a second. With the kids in college, do you expect Justin to go to college as well, or and same with Amy, do you think that there could be scholarships that they may achieve just right now, kind of based on their schooling?
No, they're so young, it's hard to tell.
Right, absolutely.
They both test really high. So I think I definitely think they want to go to college. Again, I'm super laid back. Like I'm not gonna force them. Like if Justin told me like, hey, I want to jump into the business, I'd go ahead and start teaching him and let him start taking, you know, courses online or something in the areas I think that he need.
Right.
Not to say I think they do have the ability to go to a private school.
Okay.
So I'd like to be conservative in that aspect. You know, like I don't want to plan on them getting a scholarship. I think we plan on, you know, hopefully they're going to go to TCU or Baylor or some private school that's nice. And if they don't, they end up going to state school. great, I have extra money. If they end up getting a scholarship, great, I have extra money. But I don't want to plan. I don't think they're Harvard graduates. You know, I don't think.
Gotcha.
If they are, great. I mean, we'll figure out. We'll throw all my money in if they have to take a little bit of student debt out. You know, then
Okay.
they have to do that. But I think we just plan on, you know, a moderate private school is kind of our goal.
With all of that being said, I think that obviously our main focus right now is to just figure out the housing situation and get you out of the extended stay. And then I think we need to just get the ball rolling with the retirement, just so you can get an idea of that set, not in stone, but just so that you have it there and can prepare for it. And I think that maybe that is going to affect possibly what we choose to do with the college funding. Even if they aren't Harvard, possible Harvard pupils someday, I think that we need to consider maybe Justin taking over the business someday as far as what type of funding we choose for his college account. And then maybe with Amy's, since we have 2 more years compared to Justin, since she is 5 right now, we've got a little bit longer to think about where exactly we'd like to invest for her. So I think that it's important that we start with the housing, and then we can just kind of work our way through to retirement, and then we can start working on the college funding for the kids. I think that we need to meet again soon. On the investment accounts. I don't want to forget about that. I suggest that you look into a solo IRA. It is tax deferred for business owners that are sole proprietorships. So I think it would really benefit you. It would cut down a lot of tax liabilities, and you can contribute up to $55,000 a year. So it's not something that's crazy out of the ballpark for you, and I think it could well reach your needs. But maybe look into that just a little bit more on some homework outside of our meetings, and then I would suggest gathering all of your financial documents, because you should have them handy after dealing with all of the divorce and everything. Just grab all of those for me. Let's set up a meeting within the next week or 2, whenever you're available, and then we can get a meeting set up within the next couple of weeks as well with the realtor.
Okay.
So that we can get that housing stuff figured out. And even if we need to do the next meeting, she comes in and we have her and I work together, then we can do that.
Awesome.
Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah, I think you answered all my questions. I think we thoroughly covered everything.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm gonna have to tell Mitch thank you again.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I look forward to meeting you next time.
Excellent. All right.
Awesome.
Very nice to meet you.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.